Hello, hello, hello. There's a subtitle, so that's good. Hi, everyone. Hello. How are you doing, my friends? My name is Fiona, and this is Too Long Didn't Read Tabletop RPGs, live from a completely different space. Yes. So good news. Internet's working. I've moved. It's all good. Bad news. I'm working off one screen. And I didn't realize that till about an hour ago, and I was like, "Oh Lord!" And so this stream might be a bit more patchy than usual, and just we're just gonna go with the vibes. Vibes is what it is, because text stuff can be easily upgraded and all that sort of thing. But I hope you're well. This is Too Long Didn't Read Tabletop RPGs, in which I spend an hour or two as an accountability stream reading through an RPG that I've had on my shelf or in my various Google Drives, and read through it for the benefit of yourselves, who maybe use this as a ASMR, as a co-working stream, etc. And mostly for me, as a way to read aloud, getting used to speaking aloud for various voiceover stuff, but also so that I learn about mechanics. And we sort of read through these and review these RPGs as what's cool about them, what are their cool mechanics. That's usually my thing, is what's the cool mechanic, and are they accessible? How can we play them both in a digital space and an in-person space? So that's that. I hope you're all doing well. It is incredibly bright here, I'll be honest. So I have moved to a different time zones currently. And just a sort of heads up, it's very different. Firstly, there's not many people here. And because I used to live in London, a big capital city, with lots of people, lots of stuff. And now it is much quieter. And there's a lot of older people here. So I do think I might have died. No, it's actually really lovely. And it's nice to be in a place that's slightly warmer, less drizzle, which is always good. And starting afresh. Now, before we get into this whole stream, I am aware that today is a strike day. I only found out about this probably about 2 minutes before I went live, so I feel very sorry about it. So just in case you're not aware, sometimes on social media, there are various people who call for strike days in support of, Palestine, Ukraine, all these sort of horrible things that are going on in the world just now, and to make people aware of the issues and sort of, making sure that we understand that even though, our regular content is just being disrupted, that's nothing compared to what is being disrupted around the world. And I'm in full support for that, and I just feel really annoyed that I don't check social media that often. I'll be honest. So I don't know when these strike days are. I usually try and reschedule stuff, but I'd already gone live, already put up the posts and stuff like that. So what I thought I'd do at the beginning of this stream, and I'll try and do it throughout as much as I can, I just wanted to point to another group of people who have been doing some amazing work over the last couple of days, over the weekend actually, for certainly for Palestine, raising money for the Palestine Children Relief Fund, and that's Science and Sorcery. I'm going to pop their thing here, and then we'll go and have a quick look at their site. Okay, well done, Nightbot, you're over there. So, Science and Sorcery, they are a tabletop RPG science flavored stream, and they do a lot of charity events. And recently over the weekend they did a Playing for Palestine event, which had a number of different RPG games. And a couple ones I caught, there was a Shiver game that run by our friend Zach from Realms of Peril Glory. There was this is why I can't remember any of them, unfortunately, but various different games, different systems, and different RPG performers all playing along, and it was absolutely phenomenal. They hit, as you can see in the link, in the Tilfy link, they hit several goals and always raise money. There's also another weekend coming up in May, which I'll be taking part in, running different games there. So if you can, if you've got the finances to do so, please consider giving a donation link. What I'm gonna do, I do have. Sorry, off topic. I do have a stream deck back, which is very fun. But we'll see how this works. Because I'm not going to be able to see it work, possibly. So we'll find out how it goes. But I just wanted to highlight them and where you can see their stuff. And also what the Tillyfied link is. Well. Oh, good morning, JC Darcy. Good morning, friend. How are you doing? I was just explaining. I didn't realise today was a strike day. So I'll just put a link in the chat so if people want to donate, etc. But I was just going to quickly show Science and Sorcery before we get into today's thing. So going from big Fiona screen to tiny Fiona screen. Oh, and it didn't. Well, this is the problem when you have one screen. I am working on one screen, and that one isn't locked. Good job, Fiona. We're doing very well. See, now let's lock that. Let's move this over. So yes, Telefy, this is their Playing for Palestine stream. I'm just going to go to it myself. So you can see there, like 2 weekends of fundraising tabletop RPG adventures in aid of Palestine's Children's Relief Fund on Science and Sorcery. Their Twitch channel, so twitch.tv/Science and Sorcery. I'm going to go to their thing. This is where I'm going to have to keep flicking back and forth. Hello, lovely people. Yes, that has worked. So you can find them. Yep. I was like, oh no, I've lost something. Oh, it's one of those things. Oh, okay. So you can find them on Twitch. You've got the Telefy link there. So that's Science and Sorcery. I'll give a copy of the link and I'll put it so people can actually get to it. Let's put it Science and Sorcery. Card. Is it Cardo? I don't know. Oh, it's just card links. But yeah, you can go check out all the games. They're on their Twitch just now. I assume the VOD will also be up on their YouTube, which is also on that link as well. Please go check them out. I really feel very strongly about this thing. And not everyone is able to strike. Like I said, I wish I'd known, so I could have rescheduled the stream. But again, I'm just not on social media that much. So please go check them out. And if you can, please donate as well. Right. Setting things that aside, like I said, I don't make any financial gain of these streams. This is more for an accountability stream in terms of me reading and then obviously voicing stuff. But maybe in future that won't be the case. So I need to just be aware of that. And that's why I'm just holding myself accountable because I did not see that today. Right. Let's talk about today's game. So today we're going to look at... Tell you what, I'll go back to Big Fiona Cam. Whilst you don't see me sorting out stuff behind the scenes. So we are going to look at today, Colostle. Colostle, which is she says try to find it is a solo RPG adventure game. Yes, this is an interesting one. It has been on my list for a long time. I've actually had a physical copy and then I sent it to our good friend Shamini Bundell, who was... on one of our little calls was sort of like, I just want to play games. I want to play more games right now. And I was like, well, here's a game. Because I know it would suit the style of rules light, an interesting setting, and also solo RPG. So you don't have to rely on someone else. Although you can make it into a co-op RPG from what I saw as well. Right, well, let's just get straight into it then, shall we? Like I said, this stream is going to be a little bit... Sam says, hey, Fiona just tuned in to see my card side. Very kind, thank you. No, thank you, Sam. Honestly, a cracking weekend. Well done to you and the team. Yeah, if anything, it's more the fact that I completely forgot or didn't even see that it was a strike day today. So I feel bad. Oh, Dylan, hello, morning, Dylan. How are you doing, my friend? I just want to play games. Concert mood. Absolutely. Yes, so yeah, I just wanted to showcase as much as I can. So hopefully it's just something little. So nice to see you here, Sam, as well. And hello, Super Dylan, and hello, JC Darcy. So yes, like I said, today, which is going to be a very cozy stream because I've only got one monitor, which is life-changing. So I might not be able to see the chat at all times, but I do have it on my iPad as well. But yeah, like I said, we're going to look at Colostle today, which is a UK solo tabletop RPG stream and game. And yeah, like I said, I haven't actually played it myself, but I have suggested it to other people to play. And the reason is because I did read through the setting, because the setting is really lovely. And if you are one of those people who loves, like myself, Horizon Zero Dawn, that sort of aesthetic, but make it fantasy rather than, I don't know, futuristic, nature reclaims itself, etc. Yeah, check it out. So there we go. One monitor. Oh God, yes, JC Darcy, it is life-changing. But we'll go as we can. Like I said, I've got at least the Twitch chat on one side, so we'll have a look at it from there. And yeah, at least I've got my natural light. I do miss my streamlizer. Anyway, I'm going to go back into... what a new setup. Guys, what are you doing? Hello, Dead Toothbrush. How are you doing, my friend? Yes, this is current setup. As I was saying, we've got one monitor, and I don't like it. But we're going to just try it and just go for it, because I do like streaming as well. And just trying it out. So Jesse Darcy, running 4 streams has got me thinking I need a third monitor. You know what, guys? Good shout. All right, guys, we're all gonna get monitors. We'll go from there. Right, enough of that. We've come here for one thing, and that is to read through an RPG. Oh, nice. That's very nice, JC Darcy. I totally agree. Sam size is amazing. Right. Ooh, monitors for all. I'm also trying a new mic setup for now, because, again, what's really good about moving is that we get all this desk space. I actually have stuff, I can actually move my hands behind the desk and like put stuff there now if I'd like to, which is nice. But now I have to figure out everything. So it's one of those things where we're just going to see how it goes. I'd rather just do it, fail, be rubbish, and try again. Because that's the main thing I've decided with all of my, with everything I do, is that I'd rather fail and know rather than be rubbish. I tell you what though, sorry, we will get to the stream. We will get there. But I when I first arrived on Thursday, on Friday we went to a Magic the Gathering pre-release, and that was terrifying. I really like Magic, but I hate being rubbish first time. And unfortunately, I am always rubbish at Magic. And it was a pretty brutal pre-release. I came dead last. Out of 48 people, I came dead last. And it wasn't helped by the fact that the first person I went against refused to really speak to me, and then kept pointing out all the stuff I got wrong, which I'm very aware I get stuff wrong, but I felt so rubbish as a result. The second person I played against was so lovely and so nice, and we just got on, and it was a much narrower loss, but it was really nice. So my sort of takeaway is that just be nice is what I'm trying to get across from that thing. But I did get to play it on Saturday. I did get to play 2 of the Doctor Who Commander decks, and I think those are the ones I want to play because I understand the mechanics of that, and also some really cool art. Anyway, enough of that. Enough. Back to this. So, there we go. Colossal. Enough, Fiona. You're talking rubbish. Let me move some things over. There we go. People like that first one were the reason I quit playing Magic. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, JC Darcy. I'd rather. I think I've just come to the fact now that I'd rather play with my people I know who are playing Magic. Like I actually know them, and rather do it together. Like we went yesterday on Sunday. To give back some cards or whatever. It was a much quieter pre-release, and there's also it's called Two-Headed Giant, where you could play with a partner. I'd want to do that more. That sounds more interesting than playing with strangers. But anyway, right. Let's get to it. So what is Colossal? So Colossal is a solo RPG rulebook that allows you to play a single-player adventure campaign through the incredible world of Colossal. The Colostle is a castle so big that there are oceans, mountains, and cities within its rooms. There is no outside to Colossal, everything is within. And stalking these Roomlands are Rooks, huge walking stone castle towers that attack anything they see. But hold the Rookstones, hold the Rookstones, the only source of magic in this world. Unlike multiplayer tabletop RPGs like D&D or Pathfinder, a solo RPG is one you can play on your own. The gamebook and the system, along with a deck of standard playing cards, throws prompts and moments at you that you must be able to decide. You must decide how your character reacts whilst recording your adventures in a journal. Build your story of who your legendary adventurer is and what they discover out in the Roomlands of the Colossal. So as you can see here, a couple of Ennies there. We've got just a gold winner Ennie. I think it was best game, from what I remember as well. But let's just face facts. She says, trying to look at the stuff. The artwork is the thing that draws people in, I think. It is so beautiful. There's an example of the cover there. Hopefully, yes, you can see that. I'm having to flick back and forth. Oh yeah, that does sound good. Good. Where have you gone? There you go. And so yeah, it's just that again, sort of very iconic. I don't know what the painting is called, but you know the painting of like there's an individual like looking out into the mists with their back to you, and it was used for a poster of Hamlet, which David Tennant was in. That's my cultural reference for it. But that's what it reminds me of, is that particular picture. And then looking out to me, and you can just see this massive skull, and there you can see the bits of the room. There's such big, windows to the outside, which is really cool. The other thing to say as well, this particular RPG does have a couple of expansions as well. Ooh, and there's also a very cool cinematic at the top here, which is absolutely wild. but I didn't want to show that off too much. But I wanted to see. Can we look at the shop? World of Colossal. There is a Patreon, but they've got 2 expansions. They have, I think it's the Roomlands. No. I'm trying to find it now. There's definitely 2 other books, and there's a third one. They've announced a third expansion, which is coming to the shop in June as well. but they're not kickstarting it, which is very interesting. See if we can find it. Oh, no, shipping timelines, no. There you go, so we've got the Roomlands and the Kiodina one as well, so extra locations to explore. So there's so much you get with this game as well, but all we're going to do today, we're going to look at the base set. Now, as you can probably see, she says try to double check. Yes, we do. So the actual hard copy is £25, but it does work with a standard deck of playing cards, or you can get a very beautiful deck of playing cards there. There's also a journal as well, but again, these are just sort of additionals. You don't necessarily need it. I believe the complete edition does come with a PDF as well. I'm just having a quick look. But if not, I would definitely recommend getting the PDF version if you're not 100% sure, because I know money can be quite tight. It is a very beautiful hardback book, though. So, with all that out of the way, let's just dive into. She says, trying to find it. God, I hate one screens. Let's go to it. All right, so I kind of just set it up. We might not see like a full view of everything because I've had to reorganize how things are shown on this, but let me know in the chat if there's anything that you want me to actually sort of focus on or anything like that, because I do have the Twitch chat up at least. So one thing we've got the actual core book here. We've also got the character sheet as well, which we can refer to. So let's go. So Colostle, a solo RPG adventure written and illustrated by Nick Angel. Angles. And yeah, patent pending currently the game system, and that is interesting. But yeah, all of Nick's work. Oh, don't freeze on me now, computer. Tell you what, let's just slip through. So, what have we got? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 big bits of... Oh, this is where my computer's struggling a little bit. So we've got 5 sort of big... I tell you what, let's just zoom out a little bit. So we've got 5 big chapters. We've got the introduction, obviously, creating your character, which is quite short, actually. There's only about 3 pages. That's quite good. The list of the different classes, which we can have a quick look at, I guess. The exploration rules, which is sort of the main bit of the sort of main rules, and the combat bit as well. So, we'll get through as much as we can today. I've given myself up until 6 p.m. BST, and we'll just go and see how it is. Let me know if there's any issues in the chat, by the way. Like I said, I've got the Twitch chat next to me, so we'll just see how we go. What a great image, by the way. Look at this extra thing. So this is a particular type of Roomlander. That's what you're called in this sort of game. It's great. I love it. Big swords. Massive plus. All right. Let's move stuff over. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit more, and we'll check how that looks. Let's move it a little bit, shall we, so people can read it in their own time. Yes, that'll be okay. What could possibly go wrong? Right. We're gonna... Nope. Okay, get rid of that. There we go. Right. So Colossal is a solo role-playing adventure game, often abbreviated to RPG. For those who haven't played a solo RPG before, the concept is very simple. This is an opportunity for you to decide everything that happens in this incredible tale of your own personal adventure. Think of it like a personal, mindful writing exercise, where the game provides you with prompts to write your own fascinating adventure in this strange world. You will be keeping a journal of your adventures, and the game system is a way to determine what you will encounter along the way, and to dictate the outcome of combat. This book provides you with the prompts and inspirations, and it is up to you and your character to flesh out the details and to write about what you discover. I also just say, we're a very nice font. That's such an old woman thing to say, but I do like the font. First, you need to create a character, someone of this world. The book will, a bit of a gap there, will guide you through this process in the following pages, but it is completely up to you. Then, the game provides you with an outline of your first adventure. You can decide how to interpret these prompts and what to write, and there are no limits to what you can do. This is your adventure. I do quite like how this is, obviously, again, because it's a solo RPG, it is directed towards you as the player. But it's quite nice that, because we had that with Don't Play This Game, that the conversation was towards you rather than like in the third person. I do quite like that. It feels very familiar, feels very personal as you're reading it, so it's sort of inviting you in as almost like a conversation between you and the author, which is quite good. if you get into a fight, there are rules for that too in the combat section of this book. But again, all the rules do gives you a framework for how the fight plays out. You get to decide how awesome it looks. Nice, nice, nice. So all you need to play Colossal is a pen or pencil, a notebook or sketchbook to keep your journal, a standard deck of playing cards, and a character sheet. See page 59. One thing I'd say I've noticed with the character sheet, it isn't form fillable, and I don't think they're form fillable. They do have like a journal, you saw that sort of physical journal. They do have a PDF version of that journal, but it's not form fillable. And that's so frustrating. One thing, you know what, I was thinking about it the other day. Because I use something called Notion for when I make notes and run game stuff. I just use Notion now because it's an easy way for me to share things across with people who maybe don't have Google accounts or Google Drive or anything like that. I think having a template that you can import into Notion would be a good shout for like character sheets or making notes about certain world stuff. Because there are people that do that. There are people who make like D&D world building template in Notion. And so I think that could be a cool thing to like explore, perhaps. Yeah, we talked about it before last time we chatted. Like, I've talked about how important a press kit is for when you're even advertising an actual play. But if you're trying to trying to increase signal boost. There you go, signal boost the sort of a Kickstarter or anything like that. I do think having a digital version of a way to write notes, because obviously people could do a Word document or use Notion anyway, but if you're like, hey, we've got a very cool special template that you can import and make it look really cool, or even have the form fillable version of the PDF, I think that's so important. It's just a little accessibility thing on top of that. Shit, that's a good idea. Damn, I'm gonna do that now. Oh, there you go, Super Dilla. It's just a thought, really, because I don't know about you. Like, I'm not sponsored by Notion, but I really like Notion. I just find it so simple and straightforward, and like. I've told this story before, but on for my Curse of Strahd game, I saw online somebody, and so it's definitely not my idea at all, but somebody was like, oh, I created a shared Notion that my players could type in all their notes at the same time whilst we're playing, and then it means that they get to name the sessions. So all I have to do is like record the sessions and then put them up in the Google Drive so that people can look back afterwards for their own purpose. But it's so funny because it means then people are collaborating on this one document. They don't have to have a sign-in per se, but it means I've seen memes, I've seen quotes, I've seen drawings I've made in the session that they've just all put into this one document, and it's, yeah. So I can highly recommend a shared Notion or a shared space, like a Miro board as well probably would do the same work if it was more of a visual thing. So there you go. Oh God, Notion runs my entire life now. Hey, don't knock it. Don't knock it, JC Darcy. We're all, and it's free as well. You can have you can publish things on site. That's what I do. Yes. Ooh, rewind. There we go. So like for example, if I've got a game coming up, I like to do like quick reference documents. Like, hey, here are the main rules, etc. So I can give them the rule book. That's fine. But let's face it. You're about to do a one shot for a charity stream. How likely is it that they're going to actually read a 200-page book? I don't know about you guys. Whenever I get given like, oh, we're going to do this, and I see there's a 200-page book, I don't read the book. I go and search for a quick reference guide or a video to tell me what the main rules are. So what I tend to do, I tend to make like a Notion page with the main rules on it that I've picked out from the book and just copied and pasted over there. I'll put links to like, here's where you can get a character sheet. Here's a quick video, etc. So it's all on the resource page. And then we have it to hand so that when the game comes, they can have it up if they wish to, but at the same time, if they don't have it, they're like, oh, and they ask me a question, I can then go to my Notion page and find it. So, yeah, it's just so much easier, I find, than having it as a Google document, personally. But, each to their own. Right, anyway, basic gameplay rules. This game uses a pack of standard playing cards to dictate what happens to your character on their adventure. The gameplay is split into two phases. We've got the exploration phase and we've got the combat phase. Each of these phases will you will draw a certain number of cards and check what you have drawn against tables in this book. This will reveal what your character has discovered or what is about to happen in battle. It is then up to you to follow these prompts and write your character's journal entry, describing how you interpret those prompts into a story for your character's adventures. These are basic rules to provide you with structure and randomness, but it is up to you how you read those results and the rules when you write your journal entry. So yeah, so this is definitely like a you have to write your journal out. It's not necessarily like we've seen other solo games like The Wretched. We've seen, I'm just thinking of any other games I've played, which is because I normally do voice notes and obviously make it into content. But here, like, I'm just going to go back to The Wretched because it's an easy one. Because you can do that as you can do that as journal entries, or you could do that as bits to camera or social media posts, etc. Here it's definitely more likely that you would do a journal entry of some description. And don't play this game. Obviously, that's more of a different medium things as well. Sorry, I was like, I did play another not social deduction game, solo game, which talked about this sort of stuff. Anyway, this book, did I say what's going to happen? Yeah. This book doesn't have all the answers to the mysteries of the Colostle and how every little part of it works. These gaps are deliberate to allow you the opportunity to make your adventure personal and to give the freedom for your imagination. If you find an old piece of machinery, it is up to you what it does. If you find an ancient ruin, you can decide who lived there centuries ago. Let your imagination run wild in the Roomlands of the Colostle. And there is a cute, amazing picture of one of those rooks. So I find this really interesting because obviously I think it's easier for you as a solo, when you're playing solo RPGs, to like allow yourself to let your imagination make up what you want because it's just you. When it becomes like a bigger game of other people involved, like multiplayer game, I find it really interesting because obviously for me as an improviser, if someone gives me something, I can run away and make up loads of stuff, but then I could check back in and say, is that right? And they can adapt it, whatever. And I'm very confident and very malleable for that sort of thing. And I recently ran a game. It was my Curse of Strahd game, actually. And I gave some information to a player, and they were like, but what does that mean? And I was like, well, what do you think it means? And they hadn't really got the concept of, like, how can this information, I've got it as a player, how does my character know it? And I had to explain to them, well, there's several options how your character might know it, X, Y, and Z, whatever fits your thing. And they got there eventually, but it felt like I'd given them something really cool and interesting. And maybe I hadn't made it clear as a GM that my expectation is that you can make it whatever you want. I'm not going to say no. But it was just a way of going, and how do I know that? Rather than like, how do you think my character knows that? I just came across, and maybe it's because we did it over text form. I was kind of like, how do you think? Like, make it up. It's fine. But I think, obviously, with solo RPGs, you're more likely to be, this is how I think it would go. And because ultimately, the only rule master there is you. So, adding Notion to my list of things to check out now. Oh, hooray! I mean, see, I can share with you, Sam, if you want to see what an example of what I've used it for. I don't think I use it as efficiently as I could do. When I did work at the university, our placement student, Bethany, and my colleague Mary, they both had Notions, and we had like little Notion comparisons about like what they used it for. And they used it for not just work, but for their whole lives. It was basically their sort of journal planner and everything. And they use so much stuff that I had never dreamed of. So yeah, which I can show you what I use it for. But yeah, it's free, it's great, I love it. Right, let's go. So let's zoom out a little bit, hopefully you guys can see. She says I've just got to keep checking the screen. Kind of. Sorry, I just opened OBS and I can see JC Darcy's just on a big chat about Notion. That made me chuckle, sorry. I was like, what? Oh, it's fine, it is just Notion. Alright, back we go. Yeah, so there we go, we've got the cool front cover there without the text on it. Oh, it's so good. Again, I know I always say this, would love this if this was a oh, come on. If this was a poster of some sort. Like really do posters of stuff at their cons and stuff. I'd love this as a poster of some sort or a postcard. I know. Alright. Let's get straight into the primer then. Oh, I can tell my computer's struggling a little bit. It doesn't like Let's go check the yeah, that should be okay. Amazing, thanks folks. Awesome. I'm glad you guys like it. Alright, so the world of Colostle. So the Colostle is an impossibly massive castle, the interior of which is so large that mountains, valleys, towns, cities, and even oceans fill its rooms. The ceilings and the roof are so high they are beyond sight, shrouded by the misty expanse of the sky that sits within its vaulted heights. So again, you're thinking like borrowers, Arietti is the one I was thinking of as well. Min pins, if you're a particular UK British person who read a lot of Roald Dahl. There seems to be no finding the exterior of the castle, though many adventurers have tried crossing continental distances only to reach the wall of another room. For those who have ventured past a wall, they find only more rooms on the other side, with new lands stretching off into the distance. So I think that's really cool, right? Instantly, like, here's a whole series of books and different lands, and that there can be different themed about it. Like, what if you found like a huge sort of big stairway? You get to the top of it and goes, level 2. That said, many features you would expect from a Colossal's normal size counterparts are present, such as staircases. Windows, doorways, balconies, towering statues, burning I keep saying braziers. Braziers. Not bad. Could you imagine? It would change the game entirely if it was braziers, wouldn't it? Braziers. Burning braziers. Pillars disappearing off into the clouds, and long, gloomy corridors. No adventurer has yet found their way to the rooftops, the battlements, which they suspect might grant them a view that sheds some light on the true nature of their world. But maybe you will be the first. Though all manner of threats exist out in the wild, such as strange animals and beasts, and other barbaric or dangerous people, the greatest dangers of all are the Rooks, huge hulking stone automatons? Yes, that patrol somewhat mindlessly out into the wilds of the Colossal's rooms. That said, until they are disturbed, every Rook is different, and there are no two the same, and they are and they are the only source of magic in the world. Oh, nice, a low magic setting. As such, they are something of a target to hunters looking for tech that they can scavenge, artifacts they can sell, or magic crystals to grant them strange and unpredictable powers, but only if they can bring one down. So that's where I was getting the vibe of Horizon Zero Dawn down, because of the machines that they have there, the very sort of dino-like machines. It's like they are incredible, but unless you know how to take one down, they are incredibly dangerous and can ruin whole villages. Let me just double check. Yes, we can all see that stuff. Good. Right. Every room in the Colostle sees daylight thanks to its breath. Sorry. Thanks to its lighting. A huge burning light source hanging from an impossibly high in the rafters. At night, the brazier dims to a gentle white light. No one knows how or why this happens, but it is said that some rooms have their night whilst others have their day. High atop columns and nestled in the ceiling rafters live the gargoyles, strange winged reptilian creatures that sometimes swoop on high to pick off lonely, unsuspecting travellers far from civilization. Little is known about them, but it is said that when a gargoyle attacks, it carries you up to where it lives. Many believe that when you die, your soul is drawn to the front gate of the Colossal. Excuse me. The journey of death begins by crossing the moat and discovering the lands beyond. This is but a story, but perhaps it holds some truth. Explorers talk of many strange lands far out in the Colossal, wild jungles spreading up massive staircases, icy polar regions encasing huge human skeletons in glaciers, thin corridors between rooms, arid and dry and filled with desert sands, winds blowing sandstorms through the huge windows. Explorers have theorized that some areas of the Colossal have multiple floors before one reaches the mythical battlements. Forests stacked upon deserts, stacked upon oceans, stacked upon mountains and canyons. Whoa, incredible. Life, nature, even people always find a way to live in the most impossible circumstances, and the Colossal is vast beyond imagining. Any combination of lands, peoples, and the castle itself are possible. Who knows what you'll find when you step out to discover what secrets it holds. There you go. So again, very straightforward, simple primer about what to expect, and I kind of like it. Oh, come on, game. There we go. Slowly but surely. Look at that. What a great image there. And a very cute little rook there as well. All right, straight into it. We're going to go create our character. She says, zooming in. All right. A little bit more, just checking. Maybe one out for this one, right? Zoom out one just to double check. There we go. We got it. We got it. Got it. Every time I look at OBS, I'm like, who's that tired person? It's me! Who's that Pokemon? It's Pikachu! It's Clefairy! Fuck! Alright, so creating your character. How do we do this in this game? So creating a character is first and foremost an important step before setting it out on your journey. This character is the point of view you'll be writing the journal from. Your character probably isn't like the other everyday citizens of Colostle, who are happy to stay in their little villages, farming or working, never setting foot beyond the village boundary. You are an adventurer, and something calls you to go beyond what is safe and what is known, to step out into the often magical and sometimes dangerous lands of the Colostle. So, your starting character must have the following, so these 4 things. We've got a calling, a nature, a class, and a weapon. Your character's calling could be as simple as a desire to explore and discover what lays beyond the perimeter of your family's farm. Or it could be something personal, chasing after someone who's wronged you, looking for a lost loved one, or perhaps mysterious prophecy. Although you will encounter many trials and mysteries on your adventure, every now and then your calling will rear its head, and it will be up to you how to develop this aspect of your character further. Okay, simple, straightforward. Basically your motivation, what's driving you, what your long-term goal is, I guess. Next up is your character's nature. This aspect is much simpler, and is what governs how your character reacts to what they discover and who they meet. Maybe they're hot-headed and quick to act without thinking, or perhaps they are cunning. And sensitive or protective. Both your calling and nature can be generated randomly using the system described on the next few pages. Oh, excellent, fantastic. Or you could choose from the traits listed and create your character how you want. If you have your own ideas for your character's calling and nature, then you can go with that as well. It is entirely up to you. Be sure to read all of the callings in the table to get a sense of the kind of stories happening in the world of Colossal, and maybe to inspire your own original calling. That, I think, is very important, just to get a sense, just get a vibe check, essentially, of all the stuff happening. I agree with that. If you do not want your character's calling and nature to be decided by fate, simply shuffle the deck of cards and draw the first card. Check it against the calling table and make a note of it on your character sheet, then draw a second wait. Sign it. Oh yeah, if you do, I was like, if you don't want, you do want. So yeah, you use the cards to do it. Okay. And draw the second card and check it against the nature table and make a note of that as well. Keep your character's nature in mind whenever you make a decision in the world of Colossal. What would they do? How would they react? This is your chance to roleplay. So after that comes your character's class. Your class governs how your character explores the world and how they fight. And you can read up more about that on the classes page coming up. Finally, your weapon. This can be anything you can imagine and it's completely up to you. In the combat system, weapons don't have any sort of stat that governs their power. They are simply one of the ways you can attack. When the game tells you that you do a weapon attack, this is your opportunity to describe how your awesome weapon does its damage. You could have a sword, an axe, a catapult, nunchucks, a spiked mace, or even a hand cannon. Just try and keep the technology level to roughly medieval. 100% hand cannon. Done. Vibes. Don't ban me, Nightbot. It's alright. I think Nightbot's okay with spaces between capital letters. It's so funny. Okay, dokie. Ooh, so. Alright, so we can have a quick look through this. Because I don't want to give it too far away, but it's interesting. So we've got. So Fiona's brain does not work. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 13. So we've got 13 prompts here. Sorry, 7 prompts. Yes, 7 prompts. But then obviously 13 cards. I would give all 13 ones, so it's so different. Let's say, tell you what, let me go to, I'm just going to draw a card online. We'll go from there and see what it says. Draw a card. Draw one card. No, I don't want a tarot card. I want an actual playing card deck online. There you go. Deck of cards. Ofcards.com. Fine. I take... No, well, clearly that card was not shuffled, so... Yeah, it was not shuffled. Okay, let's try again. Alright. Okay, I got the 6 of clubs. What does that mean for us, friends? 6 of clubs. We've got... let's make it a little bit... Let's move it over a little bit, shall we? Oh, she says trying to unlock things. There we go. There we go. So we can see them. So, for the 6 of clubs, this is our character's calling. So we've got... It flew overhead, casting a shadow black as night in the middle of the day. The dragon Rook. Oh, the only Rook known to fly. You hear whispers and rumours of a party heading out to hunt it. They say if you can defeat it, you'll gain its ability to fly. Or you gain the ability to fly. You can't let them get to that first. How cool is that? That's a really cool adventure hook, actually. Let's see, what's this other one? I want to see the one beneath it. So if you've got a 7 or 8. Most villages and peoples living in the Colostle have a passive opinion about the Rooks. They are simple wildlife and rarely seen. Nothing to be too worried about. It's not your village. Your village has hated all Rooks since one ploughed right through the centre of your homes, killing loved ones and disappearing into the night. Which is why your secret friendship with a very unusual Rook would not go down well with the villagers if they ever were to discover it. You meet your friend in a nearby forest as often as you can. It doesn't talk, but it doesn't attack. It's not like the other Rooks, but you don't know why. One day, when you pay it a visit, it is gone from its usual place, and there are signs of a scuffle and a trail leading off into distance. You have to go find it. Nice. Oh, I like that a lot. All right, let's see about the nature then. Okay, so again, less detailed, but let me just check. Yeah, move this back a little bit so you guys can see the whole thing. All right, so let's. Oh no, didn't mean to do that. All right, so let me get another card. Okay, I got the 9 of Hearts. 9 of Hearts, what do we get from 9? So my nature is larger than life, tells exaggerated stories and rules with laughter. Well, I feel pretty seen. Ow. Ow, Colossal. All right, let's go down. What a great drawing there. Your character's calling will evolve and develop as you play multiple chapters of Colossal. Some encounters will call back to your calling, and it will be up to you to decide how it is furthered when this happens. Maybe you will meet someone with a clue, or someone stands in your way. And maybe you will find a place or an item that you were looking for. When you draw the calling event from the exploration table, consider what this means for your character's calling and what could happen. If you're looking for an ancient temples or information, maybe you find a nugget that spurs you on. And if you're trying to find a lost family member or friend, maybe you find clues that they have passed through here. Nice. Okay, just checking. Yes, you guys can see that. Cool. Your character's class. There are 2 things to take note of: are the class's exploration and combat scores. Exploration scores dictate how much you can discover during your exploration phase. See the rules later on. And your combat score, likewise, dictates how many attack options you will get in combat. Your character is not limited to just one class. As your character develops and explores more of the world, you could consider taking on aspects of other classes if and when it feels right to do so. Your stats won't change, but it will allow you to flesh out your character and their story. All right. Ooh, okay, we're gonna go straight into the classes then. Yeah, I didn't say it at the beginning, but this whole RPG, certainly the core book, is only 68 pages long, and we're already on page 16, so might as well just go through as much as we can. So this is, we've got, how many classes have we got? I think we've got 4 or 5. So this is the first one, which is called the Armed, and 100%, why wouldn't I have an anchor attached to my back at all times? So there with the Armed, we've got, let me just double check, you guys can see. Yes, you can. So we've got exploration score, we've got 3, and combat score, you've got 4. Understandably, because you've got a massive anchor on your back. So the armed quite literally have an arm from a rook connected to them via a complex ritual. Oh, attuning is its intention to them. The armed are proficient in melee combat and highly capable adventurers. They are warriors. An armed character could have any type of arm: a blade, a hand, a cannon, a strange machine the user doesn't yet understand. If the arm has a hand or the ability to hold items, it can be used to carry an additional weapon if you have one. Oh, very cool. Like that. We just go straight. I was going to say, do we not have the... I was going to say there. Oh, I see. So this is the second part of it. So there's 2 pages for each of the classes. So let's just go through them all. We've got the character traits. Just checking. Yes, you can see that. That's fine. So the process of bonding with a rook arm is known as the grafting. Depending on the person's constitution, the size and weight of the rook's arm, and those who are carrying out the ritual, this process can vary from simple and painless to lengthy and painful. Because of this, the arm users tend to be battle-hardened and tough, chosen to wield an arm because they are strong enough. Despite the immense toughness of the arm, wielding an arm can still take a great toll on them. Sometimes it can hurt because of its weight, or when it lifts something heavy, it tugs against the user's body. Oof, no thank you. Other times there is a mental weight, a stress in the mind when coercing it to follow command. Arm users can have any number of arms attached to them, limited only by the physical and mental weight they can bear and the size and complexity of the arms they have. Arms come in all shapes and sizes. Some of them are like human arms with joints and multi-fingered hands. These tend to be the easiest to wield as they challenge the mind in the same way that a human arm does. But some arms are strange or very different, like coiling segment plates that flow like a snake. Oh, very cool. Or spidery, multi-jointed arrangements that split and separate. Some arms can be big and bulky enough to lift the user off the ground or carry incredibly heavy weights. Others allow users to do fine, detailed work that they could never normally do with their human hands. Some arm users claim to see messages or hallucinations, believed to be the memories of the rook the arm came from. A complex meditation ritual involving exotic herbs and roots can allow an arm user to see these memories more clearly and to try to understand the rooks and their purposes better. The images are always hazy and vague, but there is a very real sense of semblance of sentience, even though it is generally thought that they are just machines and only rooklings have sentience. So, to create your armed characters, have a look at the prompts below and use some of them to inform your character and why they're heading out in search of adventure. I really like that. D&D has this when you create characters in D&D, and they have that sort of like, if you read the player's handbook, it'll be like, if you're creating this character, think of the following, and they usually have like a little, if you're thinking about creating a monk or a fighter, here's like 3 things to think about, and it gives you like suggestions for stuff. I'm a big fan of that. So giving anything like that to a character class to be like, why are you taking this? Is it because, giving some of that flavor backstory, I think it just makes it more immersive for you as a player. But also, like, it's not just like, I just want to pick this because it's cool. Like, you can totally pick it because it's cool, but it just makes you like, it flashes out from that 2D character to a 3D character. This sounds distinctly mech-like, and I am interested AF. Absolutely, JC Darcy. I did think of you when the random dice roll said, let's do Colossal. So I was like, yeah. So, are you a hunter who felled their first rook and wished to wear their arm as a trophy? Oh wow. Does your village or clan fit rook arms to their children to equip them for the harsh life of living in the Colossal? Did you lose a limb of your own in a battle when young and have the rook limb fitted as a replacement? Is the rook arm a family heirloom passed down from your family line when the previous owner falls in battle? Are you the latest to claim it, or is there something you must do before you are worthy? Is your arm a question of status? Do others in your tribe have larger, more ornate arms, or is it more important to your character to compete? And is it important to your character to compete or not? And are you the first in your family, clan, village to wield an arm? Well, great questions. Really interesting as well. It's just very different to what we normally see. And again, absolutely cracking illustrations there. We also have amazing hello individual. Nice to see you there, my friend. Also, boo. Hope you're doing well, friend. Hope you're doing well. So, the second class we've got is the Followed, and that's where we get the little Rookling. Adorable. I love it. Wow, you get a huge exploration score there, a 5, and a combat score of only 3. So the Followed have a small Rook companion, like a pet or a familiar that follows them and their commands. These Rooklings are found in the cores of larger Rooks. Oh, and yet it is not known why. They display a base level of sentience akin to that of a dog or a cat, and can form deep personal bonds with their human companions. The Followed, are excellent rangers, pathfinders, and navigators. The thing is, though, that I 100% would play this one, like that level of sentience, as a cat. So it is nonplussed by anything I do. What have we got? Character traits for the Followed. They're usually very capable explorers. Yeah, if you've got a 5 in that's great. Proficient in tracking, survival, and navigation, and combined with their Rookling companions, who often have a sense of direction and knowledge about the world, they are more equipped than most to navigate the lands of the Colostle. The Rooklings can vary in size from very small, like the size of a kitten, to a size of a person. Ah, that's amazing. I'm definitely thinking of like that Big Hero 6 energy. A Rookling will have the body and magic characteristics of the larger Rook it was harvested from. Create your first Rookling, head to the Create Your Opponent Rooks section in the combat rules, and choose either the body or magic characteristics, and I'll draw cards to create them randomly. That's very cool. So no two Rooklings look alike, just like the Rooks they come from, and many of them can be very strange shapes. The only consistent characteristic across them all is that they're all made of stone and seem to feature castle elements, but on a much smaller scale, such as doors, windows. What on earth? Crenellations? Crenellations? Don't know what that is. Tell you what, let's have a Google. What on earth is that? Crenellations? Battlements of a castle or other buildings. There you go. The more you know. Where were we? Sorry, I got distracted. Tiny balconies, drawbridges. Oh, drawbridge, amazing. And sometimes even tiny gardens in miniature courtyards jutting out of the side of their bodies. Oh, I absolutely want one that has like a little garden, a little botanical garden in it. That'd be quite cute. Fighting with the Rooklings often involves fighting in a partnership with your companion. Your character will have a weapon in their hands, but when you do an unarmed or magic attack, this might be a moment where you command your Rookling to fight or use its magic. Maybe it has ice powers, or the ability to roll into a ball and smash into its opponents. Oh yeah, like a Sandshoe. Was it called Sandshoe? Yeah, Sandshoe and Sandslash, wasn't it? Maybe it can climb into an enemy Rook and do damage from within. Or maybe it can throw you high into the air to bring a weapon attack down on its enemy. The only limit is your imagination. Amazing. When fighting with your Rookling companion, think about what it is about your partnership that makes you skilled Rook hunters. Maybe you have even some special moves that you can do together due to a convenient combination of specialities. So yeah, proper wrestling moves then. Creating your character. So to create the Followed character, have a look at the prompts below and use some of them to inform your character and why they're heading out in search of adventure. Does your village or clan hate the Rooks, or did you have to keep your bond with a Rookling secret? Is your Rookling the core of a Rook that killed someone close to your character? Ooh. Is your bond with your Rookling a reluctant one? Does it follow but you wish it didn't? Oh, 100%. That's a cool, interesting one to explore, huh? Does your Rookling have something special about it? A strange crest or a hand that looks like a key? Ooh. Think about Rookling's shapes, abilities, and how it would fight in combat. With these things considered, it will make it easy to come up with strategies in battle. Nice. Alright, the third character class is the Helmed. How badass is that image there? Exploration is only 2, but the combat is 5. Oh gosh. So, let me just check. Yes, you guys can see that. The Helmed harvest a piece of strange machinery from the very core of a rook, and using rituals and a real working understanding of the crystal platforms and stones, they are able to create a helm that is worn and operated, granting them the magical abilities of the rook it was harvested from. The Helmed are the closest to wizards or alchemists in the world of Colostle. Understanding the magical properties of rooks and how to harness them is partly a pursuit of arcane knowledge and is also one of logic and crystal engineering, like magical circuitry. Any human-made devices that use Rookstones, like lanterns or refrigeration chambers, are made by the Helmed, and someone who would be a great candidate for a helm. Also, who would be a great candidate for a helm. This knack for rook alchemy is rare, and even if it manifests in someone, there is then the added challenge of defeating a rook to obtain the part or parts usable to create a helm. However, once done, unlike the arm, which acquires attunement and a great toll on the body, the use of a helm is purely operative. There is no attunement required. It is, however, complex and a deep understanding is required. Interesting. The helmed skill helmed skill are the most sought after in society. Manipulating and understanding the magical technology of rooks allows people luxuries beyond the reach of human technology. This can mean one of two things for the helmed. They're either venerated or enslaved, depending on the nature of the person who comes across them. Interesting. Others still consider the helmed to be rook sympathizers or witches. They are thought to be brainwashed with a rook's thoughts, infecting and affecting their own, as such, they are often driven out of smaller settlements or distrusted in larger ones. Some religious zealots consider the use of the Rookstone magic to be heresy, consorting with the monsters that threaten everyday life for people. These people consider the Helmed to be the very worst heretics. Interesting. So, here are some prompts. So, has your character always had an understanding of rooks since they were young? And if so, how did they first discover that? Does your character respect the rooks or simply see them as a source for scrap to tinkle? Ooh. Is your character more comfortable in their workshop dissecting and assembling? And is there a reluctance to head out on a grand quest or journey? Is your character surrounded by brave warrior armed or a strategic ranger followed, and a feeling to need to prove their worth in a village or clan? Is your character driven to understand the mechanisms and technology of the Rooks and Colossal as a whole? I think that third prompt's quite interesting, isn't it? Surrounding themselves, because then it makes me think like, well, is this a multiplayer game? Then you can have that free, and I think you can always twist it so you can have that. But it's interesting because that adds a lot more to talk about in your journal. And then we've got, how cool is that? The mounted, very cool. Yes. Exploration score, obviously, it's 5. And combat score is a 2. Let's check. Yes, all good. All good. Let's see. The mounted rides an adapted mechanism taken from rook parts as a vehicle or a mount to allow them easier traversal across the land and sea of the Colossal. Typically, this involves taking a part of the rook responsible for its locomotion and disconnecting it from its main body and turning it into something that can be operated with crude controls, mechanisms, and levers. The mounted mounts can vary from horse-like creatures to boats and even bikes. Well, there we've got almost like a chocobo type character there, huh? Alright, character traits. So like the Helmed, the mounted are gifted rooksmiths with a basic understanding of their functionality. But unlike the Helmed, who have an understanding of the magical circuitry and therefore magical abilities of rook, The mounted just have a mechanical one. The mounted are nomads and scavengers, constantly on the hunt for felled or ancient decaying rooks and harvesting parts for their own mount. Partly to upgrade and partly to just keep it going, as mounts require constant maintenance, like off-road vehicles. A mounted's mount is their heart and their life. Like looking after a bike or a beloved car, it is everything. It is their freedom. When you defeat a rook or come across a husk out in the wilds, your character can take part to upgrade and add the functionality of your mount. This functions as a story opportunity for your character. Perhaps you took advantage in your last battle and can take pieces from a fallen rook to repair it. Maybe there were once maybe where once there were wheels, you attach legs in their place. We got there. Individual parts of rooks seem to function on their own. If you remove a spinning wheel from the core of a rook, it will continue to spin on its own. Take a leg mechanism, it will still have power despite being connected. We'll just wave it away. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it too hard. This means that any part that isn't completely smashed to splinters can be made useful to a mounted. Mounted are capable of battling rooks and do so using the mount's built-in weapons. For example, a cannon or a battering ram. In combat, you can draw a weapon attack and use your mount's weapon or one that your character carries in their hands. The mounted have a low starting combat score, but as you explore more, you'll find ways to increase the score, so don't see it as a limitation. Instead, it is a storytelling opportunity to have your character go on an adventure of growth. Look at that. Have a boat as well. Look, it's like got a little hand at the top. Very cool. So let's look at these prompts. So we've got, do you come from a village of mounted with buildings and encampments made of mechanical parts of rooks? Being mounted is in your blood? ? Come up with what your mount looks like and what weapon it has on board to help defend you on your adventures. Perhaps your nomadic tribe is running out of rook parts. Your land is no longer fertile for living and fallen rooks as before. Maybe you must travel further afield to find new lands rich in broken mechanical parts to scavenge. Maybe your father is famous in the tribe for his mechanical adeptness or warrior spirit, or mother or parental guardian, obviously. You live in their shadow, keen to prove you have what it takes to carry the family name. One day when scavenging for a rook husk, you come across a part unlike any you've seen before. It could change how your mount functions dramatically. What would the others think if they saw it, though? Would they try and take it from you? Interesting. These ones are definitely a bit more like, here is a bit more backstory and hook rather than like, what do you think could be the things? That's interesting. And that's it. So we've got those 4, in the core book we've got 4 characters. We've got mounted, helmed, we've got, the ranger one, the followed, and the arm. So those 4 character classes. Nice. Alright, let's look at magic then. Ooh, almost breaking everything. Alright. Magic is a power unique to the Rooks and comes from the stones bound in ancient circuitry known as Rookstones, found deep within their bodies. Rookstones come in 3 varieties: electric, rumble, and ice. Every Rook will either have one of these 3 magical qualities or no magical abilities because this Rookstone is broken or missing. Ooh. I like how on the side we have a... Don't sneeze. Okay, I think we're fine. We've got a written example, but also as a almost like written font for it. That's quite nice. Won't read it aloud though. People who are able to use these magical abilities by harvesting a helm from a defeated Rook. These helmets are usually a central part of the Rook's core that is tweaked and shaped into something a human can wear. Every helm looks different from one another and confers on the human the magical powers that A specific rook confers onto the human the magical power of that specific rook whilst they wear it. Electric magic manifests as arcing lightning and balls of sparkling energy. Rumble shakes the earth and everywhere around like an earthquake, with an ear-splitting cracks and explosions. And ice cools the air and water to form huge, piercing and disabling crystals of ice formed from nothing. In Colossal, magic is there simply for flavour and to enhance your stories with incredible sights and scenes. You'll see in the combat rules it's a type of attack that you or your opponent can do, but this is purely for descriptive purposes. For you to have fun thinking about how a lightning strike from a rook might look, or how your character dodges an ice crystal hurled at them in battle. There are legends that speak of other special Rookstones somewhere out in the world. Unlike the standard Rookstones, of which there are many of each type, these special Rookstones are one of a kind and confer unique abilities to the rooks that bear them. Perhaps if someone was to defeat one of these rooks, they could get that unique power for themselves. I like that. So already we've got here's free in the base book, but in future books and future expansions, here's some suggestions for others. Nice, like it. Oh, what a great image. Again, very similar that sort of come on book. That sort of looking out across massive desert, like that painting we were talking about before. All right, great. Let's get on to the exploration rules then, shall we? How are we doing for time? I've done about an hour, so that's all right, isn't it? Not too bad. Okay. That should be okay. Great. Cool. Sorry, just checking messages, making sure we're all okay. So, exploration rules. Exploring the lands of Colostle involves using a deck of ordinary playing cards. To realise what your character sees and encounters, you draw a number of cards equal to your character's exploration score and set them down in front of you. So that mounted one had quite a big, it had 5, didn't it? So you get 5 cards if you drew it, whereas I think the helmed was 2 or 3. So you'd only get 3 there. This is the exploration phase, and this is how every chapter of your adventure starts. The colour, suit, and number of cards you have drawn dictate what you have discovered, but it is up to you how to link these elements together in a story of a mythic adventure. You could see each exploration phase as a day in your adventure, or longer if it suits your story and journal. If you encounter something to fight, then the result of that combat occurs in a combat phase. Some exploration phases may not have combat encounters at all, or your character might choose to avoid it. But if you do choose to fight, a combat phase can fall anywhere within your exploration phase, right at the start, halfway through, or at the end, whatever works best for your tale. With all the card prompts used and any combat encounters resolved, that's the end of the first chapter of your adventure. To start the next, simply draw your exploration cards again, but be warned, your exploration score might have changed from the outcome of any battles you've encountered. Oh, okay, good to know. As you continue through exploration and combat phases, just keep drawing cards from the same pile, moving them to the discard pile once you've used them. Once you reach the end of the pile, shuffle the discard piles and start a new pile to draw from. If you draw 2 of the same card, you can decide whether to draw a new card in place of a duplicate or encounter 2 of the same thing. Consult the tables on the next page to see the prompts of the various exploration cards. And that's kind of it. Very straightforward. Again, as a very traditional or sort of go-to mechanic in solo RPGs is to be pull a card, see what the card prompt says, and then come from that. The Quiet Year, Avery Alder does that quite a bit. The Oracle, for each of the different systems. So it's very, what's it called, that one? Beyond Game Masters? I'm going to have to look that up at some point. That particular system is used everywhere. It's quite good. Oh, what a great image. You got your washing out. Again, would love this as a poster or something. So good. Oh, okay. So I guess it's not going to give us too much detail. We'll have to go to the actual things. Again, we won't look at them too well. We can have a look in a second. But red cards are organic things, people and creatures. And they have... Oh, we don't have any... we don't have any... Sorry, words are not my strong point. We don't have any face cards, it seems. It only goes up to ace to 10. So that's interesting. Black cards are scenic things, structures, and objects. Oh, yes. Sorry, I was like, oh, yeah. It's only red or black. It doesn't depend. Oh, and then the suit is broken down there. Interesting. Okay, well, why don't we have a go? So let me first of all check. Yep, you guys can see that. That's fine. I'm gonna just go and quickly deck of cards this. So we got the 10 of diamonds. Okay, so what does the 10 of diamonds tell us? 10 of diamonds. Oh no! I've been captured and taken prisoner already. Gosh darn it. Let me just double check you guys. Yes, you can see that. So 10 of diamonds we got. So you are captured and taken prisoner. God, we've only taken one step outside. It's a camp of people. At least they look like people. They walk on 2 legs and carry tools in 2 arms, but they're not human. Who are they and what do they want? Ooh. Interesting. So I see. So you got the outcome there, but maybe that maybe I would put the text at the top. Well, no, because then how are you going to see? You need to find out what the result is straight away. I just feel because I was like, oh, I'm captured. Oh, but yeah, I understand. Let's do another one. I want to see. We get one for the. Oh, I just pulled a joker. Hilarious. I know that's me, but what else is that? The 2 of clubs. Okay, let's do 2 of clubs then. So. 2 of clubs is ruined. A door. No ordinary door. A door between rooms in the Colossal. It's impossible. Huge beyond imagining, disappearing upwards into the sky. If you hadn't seen it from a distance, you'd have thought it was just another wall. If it's ruined, maybe you can slip through a gap. But if it's intact, you might have to find a mechanism to unlock it or open it. Nice. Simple, straightforward. Like it. All right. Ooh, drawing, here we go. So drawing a jack, queen, or king, no matter what the suit or colour, follows the table below. When it comes to a rook, you can decide whether to fight it or to try and sneak past. If you choose to fight it, check the combat section. So on a jack, we discover an item, consult the item table, and then a queen is a medium rook, and a king is a massive rook. Oh no! In some cases, an exploration prompt might reference an item or event tables. See below. Okay. These tables allow you to add a further detail to an encounter by drawing another card and checking it against these prompts. Whenever you collect an item, you can check it against the item table if you want to randomize what it is. You can use an event prompt whenever you like to add more flavor to the situation. Oh, nice. All right, let's do this. Let's say we've drawn an item. Let's see, got that? Yeah, you can see that. That's fine. Let's draw a card. Okay, we've got a queen for drawing that item. It's an artifact or idol we drew. Oh, cool. Would be nice if it gave you a little bit more flavour for it, but that's okay. Let's try an event now. Let's try it. What can we get for event? Got a 3 on the event. Something falls from the ceiling. Oh no, that sounds awful. That's cool though. I like that. Ooh, a loud noise, strange feelings, something breaks. You are surrounded. Hunger sets in. Oh gosh. So if you're up here, yeah. So think about ways to sew the moments in the exploration phase together. Perhaps you draw an ace of diamonds and a 4 of clubs. This is the stranger in unusual robes and the ruin of an ancient civilization. Maybe the stranger spies you and flees into the ruins, sparking a chase through an ancient labyrinthian corridors. And another, oh, what a cracking image. I love it so much. So yeah, you could actually have like a, sorry, I'm moving around too much. You can actually have like an ocean battle, it's like a serpent thing. Going on to ocean encounters, amazing. The rooms of the Colostle are so vast that on your adventures you might come across a sea. Maybe you reach a coastline cliff or a rocky beach as you trek from one wall of a room to another. And as you look out at the flat blue horizon, you get a very real sense for how big the rooms of the Colostle can be. It could take days of sailing from one of these bodies of water to reach the other side, and that side might not be another coastline. The sea might just butt up against the wall of that room and maybe flows through another doorway, leading it into the next room. Or maybe that impossible door miles high into the air is closed and the pressure of the ocean's worth of water means it will never be opened. Some rooms in the Colossal are smaller than others. Some are more like corridors or hallways between rooms. These spaces are still massive. It might take a day or two to travel across their width, but to travel their length could take weeks or even months. Perhaps some of these spaces are oceans too, sailing along walled corridors with burning torches on the walls high above your ship's sails. And don't forget the upper floors too. The oceans aren't limited to being on the ground floor, although maybe in some places the ceiling has broken and huge torrents of water fall from an ocean above. Worst of all are the sea rooks, larger than their land-based cousins due to the relative support and safety of a body of water. These leviathans of stone, covered in algae and seaweed, periodically rise out of the ocean like humongous rock whales reaching the surface. Just pray they don't see you. That reminds me of when I played Sea of Thieves for the first time by myself, and I was just travelling across the ocean, and then my ship stopped, and I thought I'd done something wrong, and then a massive kraken came from somewhere, and I was like, ah! It was like the scariest thing. It was great. The other sea rooks have been dormant or even dead for years, and have become small islands. Oh, nice. Exploring the island reveals rooms and chambers below the sand and vegetation that has grown on the top side. These rooms are half-flooded, but perhaps there is treasure to find. Looks like you're going to need a boat. That sounds quite fun. To explore the oceans of Colossal requires a boat or seagoing vehicle. This involves learning the craft of a mounted or befriending one. If the mounted is your starting class, then build a ship will be no problem. There may be a story you want to tell about getting the parts you need, but once you have them, all you'll need is time. However, if you started as another class, this might mean you need to ask for passage from a mounted or learn their ways. In your story, if you encounter another hunter or a village or a city with a mounted in it, then perhaps you can go and talk to them and trade for knowledge or even a mount of your own. So, sorry, I can't remember. Were I called a hunted? Yeah, you're called the hunted. You're called hunters, aren't you? I thought there was another name for us, but I can't remember what it was. Once out on the ocean, there is plenty to be aware of. Weather is a huge factor, especially for storms. Sometimes the ocean encounter table to the right, beyond the right page, yep, will ask you to consult the weather table right below that exploration phase, and this will affect the whole phase for good or for bad. If you're asked to draw a weather prompt more than once in your exploration phase, ignore all but the first one. Interesting. Take care at sea. There isn't always somewhere to hide and take shelter. The rules for combat at sea are largely unchanged from the general rules of combat for Colossal. However, as you are writing your character's story, consider the implications about how that battle might unfold in this new situation. If you enter combat, take cues from the prompts drawn in your exploration phase, especially if you drew a weather prompt, as that could add some serious flavour to how the fight goes down. Perhaps the Rook is an electric type, but you are fighting in the rain, and that could short out its attacks. Finally, remember all Rook combat is optional. You can always steer around it and give that hulking sea Rook a wide berth, saving your energy for another day. Ooh, so this is slightly different. So it's just one big table, so we've got black and red. Okay, let's have a look-see, shall we? We got 8 of clubs, so that's a black card. Have a look-see. I've lost my script. There we go. 8 black. Treasure to find. So shallow waters and underwater ruins. If the weather is good, you could drop an anchor and swim down to investigate. Okay, let's check our weather table then, shall we? Gotta love a good random table. The weather today is it's an 8. 8 of hearts. Oh, 2 8s in a row there. 8 is a water spout. A column of water twirling in the wind. It's heading straight towards you. Well, I don't think we have time to then dive down and find the treasure. If there's a massive, water, tornado coming towards us. Oh, nice. Look at that image. So good. Sorry, I'll zoom out so you can see it. Oh. I like it. You can see the light shining up from above. They've actually put the light sort of painted it in. Look on this wall here, all the different like bits and bobs you can get from the Rooks as an armed. Very cool. All right, the cities of Colostle. So the cities of Colostle, incredible spaces with a starkly higher level of civilization and apparent technology advancements than the villages and the wild lands of the rooms beyond their boundaries. These astonishing places are possible with large-scale use of defeated rook bodies and their internal mechanisms and magical technologies. The cities of Colostle are incredible, bustling places of trade, culture, and security. Every building is a part or the whole body of a now defeated rook. Their husks now outfitted with windows and wooden interior floors, flagpoles, and shop fronts. Mechanisms from their stone bodies now drive wagons and other strange vehicles in their streets. The Rookstones will light up the busy thoroughfares at night, and the Rooklings scurry to and fro, running errands and delivering packages and mail. Oh my god, a Rookling postal service. Very cute. Very cute indeed. The city is a great place for buying weapons and equipment, selling items and treasure you have found on your adventures, and getting information about quests that will reward your character upon successful completion. The streets themselves are paved with stones from smashed rook bodies, the houses are filled with hundreds if not thousands of people looking to live a more secure life, safe from the wild lands and the roaming rooks, thanks to the defensive walls and long-range mounted weaponry. As an adventurer, it is a place to find information, money and work. Perhaps you are looking for someone, have artifacts to appraise or sell, or are looking for quests to elevate your name. The city is the place for all these things and more. It is also a great opportunity for your story. All sorts of people pass through a place like this, and you can find practically anything when this many people come together. Yeah, again, I quite like, again, this is quite nice to have those play examples and make it like, here is a box of it. Not necessarily coloured box. Again, I think maybe they're trying to leave the colour stuff to the illustrations, which totally makes sense. But having it in a different font or a different text actually is quite good. All right, so building the city. So when your character arrives at a city, the first task for you as a player is to build it. This process of drawing cards will dictate what the city has to offer and might dictate the kind of activities you choose to do whilst you're staying here. If you stay here. Building the city involves drawing a number of cards and laying them out in front of you. The cards must all touch each other on at least one side. There can be no areas of the city that float separately. The shape is completely up to you and could be a perfect square, an L shape, or a completely random layout. Oh, I like this, like the actual sort of physical place you put them makes the sort of outline of a city. That's pretty good. Each of these cards represents an amenity/district of the city and where they are placed to allow you to draw a map of your city, both to remember the layout, but also which amenities it has to offer. This could be as simple or as detailed as you like, but you will need to record it as you will likely be shuffling cards back into your deck once you've created it. A city always starts with 4 elements. These are elements that all cities have. Search for your deck and find a 10, Jack, Queen, and King in any suit or any colour. These correspond to the following amenities: so a Hunter's Guild, a Tavern, a Merchant, and a Housing District. Now you draw a number of cards. You now draw a number of cards to dictate the rest of your city. If you draw another Jack, Queen, or King, put it to the bottom of the deck and draw another card. Fine. A city is 8 cards in total size. It's 8 cards total in size, although you can tweak this number if you want to get a larger or smaller city for your story. Now draw 4 more from the deck and check them against the table on the next page to build your city. If you draw 2 of one type of amenity whilst building your city, you can choose to ignore it or draw it again. There are 2 instances of that amenity in your city for some healthy competition. Nice. I really like this actually. I like the physical version of it. It's pretty good. Hunter's Guild. So alright, so we're going to go into each of the 4 things, the 4 elements. So the Hunter's Guild. The Hunter's Guild is the professional base for all Rook hunters. Your character may not be a Rook hunter, instead an adventurer with a different reason to explore the lands of the Colostle and fight rooks purely out of necessity. But some make it their profession to hunt rooks, and the guild is a place they can get paid for their dangerous work. Out in the world are plenty of rooks that are causing problems for the populace of cities and villages of the Colossal. These people come to the guild and offer a reward to the hunters who can take care of these rooks and solve the problem. Any player who can enter the hunters guild and take a quest to deal with the rook and earn a reward. It's a great way to make your way in the world and provide new adventures for your characters. Nice. I will say, yeah, one thing I've just noticed. I always forget about this, but there is no Right, hang on, double check. It is. Oh, yes, I was gonna say it is. It is text readable, but there is no. Yeah, unfortunately there is no alt text on these images. A shame. A shame. Oh, and then we've got some building prompts as well. We won't go through all of them, but we've got stuff like palace grounds, a lapidarius, it's a Rookstone specialist. Oh, I don't know if that's an actual word, is it? Let's look it up, shall we? I'm all about looking things up these days. Lapidarius. Oh, it is. It is. It's a lapidary. Techniques of cutting, grinding, and polishing. Oh, it's shaping stone minerals and gemstones. I did not know that was a word. Lapidaria. Lapidary. Lapidary. The more you know. Just check I've not just... Yeah, I was going to say, just check that I've not done something. We've got a Rooksmith, cartographer, weaponsmith, arms dealer. Rookling Crash. Oh, that's going to be adorable, isn't it? Gourmet District. House for sale. Oh, we can buy houses. Nice. Oh, there we go. Example of a lapidarist. As I say. Ooh. Creating a quest for your character can take from a hunter's guild. Follow these steps. They consist of 3 elements. We've got a location, twist, and reward. And now we've got them here. Fantastic. All right. Why don't we have a go at this, shall we? So we have 4 tables. We've got the location and the distance is. Oh, this is probably the same distance. And then we've got twist over here and reward. All right. I'll do that quickly. Have a look. Go back to the deck of cards. I really should too. I'll reshuffle this deck. All right, so we've got a jack, we've got a 8 of hearts, we've got a king of diamonds. So we've got jack of clubs, 8 of hearts, and king of diamonds. So what does that mean for us? So we have. So there's a doorway to another room. Is the location, and that was. That's why I missed having 2 screens. Clubs, and it is. Oh. 3 exploration phases away. We need to go to this doorway. And then the twist was the 8. A rook underground is causing earthquakes with its rumbling magic. Ooh, cool. And then the reward, which was a heart. Yeah, the hearts was 3 treasures for it. Okay, nice and simple. Easy enough. The above table is for how many exploration phases it will take for you to reach the rook in question. When the quest is completed, it will take this long to return to the city too, unless you own a house. Oh, not anymore. Once you have created a quest, you can decide to accept it and head out to complete the requirements, or you can turn it down and ask for another. This is as simple as going through the process again and seeing what you get a second time. Considering using the quests you don't take on as more aspects to your story. Yes, very true. Other things are happening outside in the world, and maybe they can tie into your character's overall adventure. When you reach the exploration phase that your quest target is at, don't draw any cards for that phase. Instead, use the location and twist information to dictate where you are and the kind of rook you are facing. Upon finding your rook target when you reach its location, you must create your rook opponent as you normally would, but this time taking into account the twist and location when you battle it. Upon completing your quest and returning to and returning to the guild with proof, your character will then receive the reward, which is the treasure thing. There is no time limit for the requirement. You can have a quiet run. You can request run in the background whilst your character does other things. Alright, so that's the Hunters Guild. Now we've got the housing district. This is where the populace of the city live, and is a great place for your story to develop if you need to meet a contact, stay with family or friends, or get some information. The district mostly consists of rook husks piled upon one on top of each other to create something akin to an apartment block. Oh wow. Makeshift ladders and crude stairways clamber over lower houses to reach upper ones, and here and there old rook arms form bridges and washing lines. Between the houses, wandering the various walkways and corridors, are vendors selling food door to door, mysterious cultists going about their shady business trying to recruit new members, and the residents themselves gossiping or visiting friends. It is a vibrant place, and where your character will need to go if they are looking for someone. All manner of people live in the housing district of cities: entertainers, brewers, retired heroes, seamstresses, tailors, huge families, hermits squirreled away from the outside world, and soldiers for the army of the city. The housing district is a great place for anything to happen in your story that involves meeting new or old characters, or advancing your adventure with information and rumour. Alright, so, but no tables there. I think I would have definitely put in some tables here for, like, let's create some random NPCs and some quest hooks here, you know, just have that to hand. Right, the Rookling Crash though. So this appears in most cities in Colostle as a great place for hunters to pick up their first Rookling companion for a quest, or for those who live within the city to secure some cheap labour for their business or family home. As a player, you can trade any Rooklings you have adopted on your journey here for a chance at a different type using the table below. Oh no, it's like in Pokemon when you have to put like Pikachu into the computer. Don't like that at all. Or you can buy a Rookling for 2 treasures. Either way, you must let the cards decide if you which you receive. It is always a gamble with Rooklings. All right, let's have a go then, shall we? I got 3 of spades according to this. What do we have for 3 of spades? A telescopic one that extends and retracts. Nice. Or you can buy one for 2 treasures. That's fine. Right. Cool. Again, I would like to have a bit of a twist and another. Oh, look at that image of the crash. Look at that one. Very cute. But yes, I would definitely have another table here, I think. And then we have finally the tavern. Every city has a tavern. A place where tired, battle-weary adventurers can eat well and lay their head for a couple of days. Since the world of the Colostle operates on a bartering system of commerce, you can trade any item you have found on your travels for a night's stay at the tavern. This stay will grant your player +1 to either your combat or exploration scores. Oh, nice. You can only do this once per visit to the city. You will have to spend at least 1 exploration phase outside of the city before you're able to use the tavern again. Fair enough. You can't double up on those scores. Excuse me. The tavern is also a great place to meet people and talk to strangers, and hear rumours and ask about any jobs that are needed. Once per visit to the tavern, you can ask a stranger for a quest and use the quest generation system from the Hunters Guild section to create a new one. And then when you complete, you just need to return to the tavern for your reward. Absolutely. Living in a city does not come cheap. Yeah, we know that. So for 20 treasures, you can buy a house in the city that has this option available. It is advisable to do so if the city you have discovered has lots of useful amenities. Owning a house grants you plenty of story options for your character, but it also grants your character 2 major boons. Got healing and fast travel. We've unlocked fast travel? Oh, this is like Horizon Zero Dawn. Love it. What am I doing on time? Oh, 4. Okay. God, I keep almost dropping my water. I'm like, oh. So, healing. So once per stay in the city, you can heal your character fully back up to their starting exploration and combat scores. Narratively, this involves your character staying in the city for a week. Fast travel As a resident, you gain access to the city's caravan service, which allows your character the ability to fast travel back from any Hunter Guild's quest. Oh, so this means your character won't have to spend the exploration phases from the journey back after a quest, and instead can travel as for a single day in a caravan. Oh, luxury. Basically getting an Uber. You can't use this caravan to head out on the quest though. Yeah. Only to return home. Yeah, they don't want to go to those bad parts. Merchant. Ooh, who's this character? So the merchant is an interesting character found in their shop in the city streets. For a variety of prices, see each item, all manner of strange devices, weapons and supplies can be purchased. Some of them are single use and others are pieces of equipment you can equip. Some of these special items have a specific gameplay function which is made clear in their description. But others are simply ways to make your character's story more interesting and allow you more options for description of what happens in your story. If you have the items required for the special item cost and you wish to buy the special item, special items. Simply cross the items off from your inventory and add the special item to your inventory. Okay, that definitely needs some copy editing there. It's very hard to read aloud. Perhaps you can describe the strange, gloomy shop in your story too, and the mysterious, untrusty shopkeeper individual behind the counter. So some items here. We've got Rook gauntlets. We've got electric sword. Oh, that looks great. Extending pole. Mysterious potion. And again, I quite like the barter system. It doesn't have to be something specific, although you could always make it that. So a weather stone. Nice. Ooh, a tripwire crossbow. Turtle shell armor. Okay, so we've only got a couple of items there, but again, I bet you could make up all this. Wouldn't it be great if you had some tables to make that stuff up? Oh, that's cool. Again, this armed character that we've got as our sort of main character here. Very cool that you can move. I just like that, just showing off what else the weapon can do that's not necessarily fighting. Very cool. Oh, don't read this section until your character has reached the battlements in their adventure. So the battlements, they're up in the ceiling stuff. Tell you what, let's not read it then. Let's move on, because we've got the exploration stuff down. We've got a lot about the primer. Kind of want to see what this combat stuff is, but we won't spoil ourselves with the battlement stuff. So I can see more tables though. Oh, exciting. Oh, so then we get some more. We've got a character class up on the battlements, I'm guessing. Oh gosh, look at those exploration and combat scores. Wow. Well, we won't cheat ourselves out of that. Oh, and there's pictures as well. Oh, I wonder, can I... Hang on. Let's see the 2-page view. Will we see it? No, it doesn't show us. Oh, rubbish. Rubbish single-page view. I love the... Hang on, let's zoom out a little bit so everyone can see. I do love how, like again, very... not cartoony, that's not the word. Very comic book style. Got these maps. Interesting. I love it. And then, yeah, making it into rooms and stuff. Again, would love this as like a proper map that I can pull out and like, you know, use. Obviously, the whole point of it is that you can make your own thing, but it would be very cool. All right, combat. This is the one thing I wanted to look at. So yeah, I didn't want to spoil too much in terms of that battlement stuff, but you know, we'll go. Oh, what a great image. Reminds me a lot of the Shadow of Colossus video game as well. So combat begins when you draw a card for an opponent, a person or rook, in your exploration phase, and as a character, decide to engage in it. When this happens, the combat phase starts and the rules on these page apply. Note, if you draw multiple rook cards, they are ignored. You'll only ever face one rook at a time. Again, makes it easier for us, doesn't it? So, that's all good. Alright, so let's do it. So creating your opponent, we've got another person or another rook. Let's start on the left. So you must draw cards to establish how they will fight you. There are two aspects that define a human opponent: their intention and their weapon. So first, draw a card and consult the tables below to establish their intention and weapon. So just a card. Okay, let's do that. Oh, 7 of clubs we got. 7 of clubs, what does that mean for us? So 7 of clubs, we got, oh, a steal from you. And 7 is there doing it. Oh, they're coming straight in. Oh, melee. Coming in with a dagger, probably. They use the intention prompt to inform how they act in the fight and what they are trying to do. If you lose the fight, they will be successful in their intention. Ooh. Use the weapon prompt to inform how they fight with you. Ranged means a bow or a spear, where melee could mean a sword or fists. With those aspects defined, you are now ready to enter combat and this opponent. See fighting to learn how combat actually works. Yeah. But let's say creating your opponent for a rook. So rooks are a little bit more complicated to create and represent the largest threats that you will encounter in the world of Colostle. Check the card of the rook you drew in the exploration phase. If you draw multiple of them, choose the one that best represents the rook. The medium rook is about the size of a car or a small building, and a massive rook is the size of a large house up to a huge building. Large rooks have battlements, balconies, and rooms within them, and are much harder to take down. A fight against a massive rook might take place within it, with its attacks and type manifesting as traps within its internal structure. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, we've got an illustration coming up as well. Oh, nice. So first you must draw one card and consult the tables below to establish the rook's magic type and body type. Okay, let's do that then, shall we? Oh, I got a Jack of Diamonds was what I got there. Let's see. So it's a defense, and diamonds is ice, an ice palace of some sort. Nice. The attack type is highly offensive, coming from in close and fast with damaging melee attacks or long ice range. While the defense is more defensive, it may be huddles tight within its thick stone hide and blocks attacks with a huge shield. The body type dictates the shape and the look of the rook, the kind of attack it would use if it does a physical attack. See fighting. There is also the kind of arm that you would get as a reward for defeating it. An attack arm might be a blade or a chain whip. Ooh. And a defense arm might be a shield or an air blaster that propels you out of danger. A player, the character, can have multiple rook arms. Nice. Okay. So the magic type determines the kind of attack the rook would use if it was a magical attack. See fighting. And also the kind of helm you would get as a reward for defeating it. Players can have multiple helms but can only wear one at a time. Yeah, that makes sense. As before, there is no rules for different types of magic. They're just simply flavors to how you'd write about the rook attacking you. Alright, so let's get the weapon. Let's get the rook's weapon and reward for defeating it out, shall we? So let's see. Got 10 of clubs. 10 of clubs there. So weapon type, it's a melee one. And clubs, it's an arm. Oh, I get an arm as a result. But then we've got helm, rookling, and weapon. A ranged weapon on a rook might be crossbows, even a cannon, oh my god, mounted on its parapets. A melee weapon is likely to be a large sword or club. The weapon determines what kind of weapon the rook would use if it does have a weapon attack, see fighting, and also the kind of weapon you would get as a reward for defeating it. Players are limited to 2 weapons at a time unless they have arms to hold more. And yeah, unless you become like, I don't know, like some sort of like, what's like spider, like a Doc Octopus, that's the one I'm thinking of. With all these elements noted down and your opponent created, it is time to go to battle. The rewards though, so the character may not be inclined to or even able to use the reward you gain from the battle. It is up to you and the abilities of your character. However, even if your character cannot make use of the reward, it is a valuable item in your possession that you may be able to sell or trade in future. There is, of course, a chance your character might die. It is completely up to you what you do at this point. You may wish to keep adventuring in Castle, then you can create a new character. Perhaps you will then find the journal of your previous character and add your own entries to this book. Or maybe you pass the journal on to a friend for them to add entries to the journal about their adventures for their character. So that's interesting, because I assume that the damage comes in forms of like taking off your boxes for exploration and combat. That's what I'm going to assume, because we've not got to that yet. But it turns out then you could keep playing for as long as you want, for as long as the story is, or until you die. So there's no like natural endpoint to this game then. Like where you, I don't know, win and survive. It's just when you want to stop. Interesting. All right. Oh my god, we've got 13 pages left. We're doing okay on time. All right. So, It's now time. It's now that your phone. Now that your opponent is fully realized, it's time to fight. First, draw a number of cards equal to your combat score and place them face up in front of you. These are your options for this battle. Second, check the combat score of your opponent in this table. So they've got another person as 1, 2, 3 for the medium, and 5 for the massive one. Fighting involves countering your opponent's cards with cards that are from your face-up options. Draw the first opponent's card and place it face up in front of you. This is their first attack. To counter it, you must allocate one of your options. A higher number will beat the attack. If you don't have a higher number, you must allocate one of your lower ones anyway and mark a wound against yourself. Then prepare for the next enemy's attack if it has any left. This proceeds one enemy attack at a time until their opponent has used all their attack cards. As well as the attack number, the attack type is determined by the card's suit. This is true for your players' counters too. See the tables below. Okay, so we've got those there. So we've got, creative attack. Oh, it's going to go into detail here. Okay, so unarmed attack, using body or fists. Weapon attack, uses a weapon. Your character or an opponent has been assigned weaponry when you created them. Yada, yada, yada. Magic attack, an attack that only uses those 3 types of magic, which is ice, fire, and rumble. If your character or opponent does not possess magic, it's treated as an unarmed attack, and the same here. All right. And then creative attack is an opportunity for you to come up with something a little bit different. Maybe an attack combines weaponry and magic to create an electric sword, or perhaps you throw an item, kick sand to blind your opponent. These attack flavors are here for flavor to create a choreography in your battles. The only thing that matters from a gameplay perspective is the number on the card to determine if you win or lose that round. Ooh, if your card number equals that of the oncoming attack, that is a clash, and your player, does not create a wound. Sorry, I think I should say character. Your character, because you're the player. Critical hits. If your counterattack beats the incoming attack and is of the same suit, that is a critical hit. You can come up with how you use your attack to disable your enemy. A critical hit decreases the opponent's remaining attacks by 1. And note, enemies cannot critical hit against you. That totally makes sense. Winning, though. So you are victorious in combat if you defeat the majority of your opponent's incoming attacks. So for example, if you were fighting a medium rook, you would need to defeat 2 out of the 3 of its incoming attacks. If you win a combat against a rook, you may take the rook's reward and add 1 point of your exploration to your exploration or combat scores. If you win in combat against a human, you get 1 treasure. Keep track of them, as you will be able to trade them in later. Okay, very simple combat. Very straightforward. I quite like that. So fighting, so wounds. So at the end of combat, you must count up the number of wounds your character has taken. For each wound your character has, you must remove 1 point from either your exploration or combat scores. There you go. Think about what form these wounds take and how might they affect your character's ongoing adventure. Make it a part of your character's legend and story. Maybe they heal over time, and in which case your scores go back up. Or maybe they don't, and your character carries their scars with them, losing the use of a hand or walking with a limp. Note that your exploration or combat scores can never go higher than a maximum of 5 each. Losing. So, your opponent lives and you receive no reward. Any wounds received in this combat phase still take place, both on you and your opponent. Maybe you will encounter this opponent again, a white whale for your character. If you do, this can count any wounds you've managed to land against it and still be there to reduce its combat score accordingly. With the battle complete, your adventure continues. You begin a new exploration phase and see where your journey takes you. If your character receives enough wounds to reduce either their exploration or combat score to 0, then they are dead. Write your last entry in the character's journal as they lie there knowing the end is upon them, or have it end abruptly as their light goes out. Oh god, there's no spacing there at all, is there? This is your character's final moments, make it a fitting end to their legendary journey. So is it just 1 round of combat then? I guess like if you win the most of it, do you then do it again? If you only... Oh, or no, it would be 1 round and then you counter... Oh, I understand, yeah, so you win if you defeat the majority of them. If you don't, you're gonna have to count up those wounds and then think about like they still live essentially. So you still only do it like a one-off thing. Okay, that's good. So you're not constantly stuck in this like loop to finish off the fight. Oh wow, look at this drawing, this internal drawing. How cool. Again, would love this as a as a poster or something, or a picture to put on my wall. I love stuff like this where you see the inside stuff, so you can see like the insides and the traps and whatnot. That's pretty cool, huh? Very cool indeed. And then we've got an example of a journal entry. Again, we're not going to read that per se, but it makes note. It's interesting. It makes note of all the sort of the prompts and stuff. So again, that'd be quite cool to have as a like. You had that Notion template. It's like day 1 or journal entry 1, and then be able to like pop down, like easily note down what it is that maybe isn't typing per se. And then we've got the character sheet again. Very straightforward, very clean. This character sheet, and it's all on one page, which is good. Inventory notes. God, I wouldn't put that in there. I would have like an extra complete back of the sheet. Is that where you make those inventory notes? Nature seems very small there compared to. I guess calling is going to be bigger, isn't it? Because that's like the hook of it. And then we've got Kickstarter backers, which is all good. Gosh, so many people. Lots of Michaels there. I can see. Just having a quick look. I wonder. I don't think I'm on here. I know it's very egotistical for me to be like, did I back this? I can't remember. It'll be by F, huh? Nah, I don't think so. Finn. Lots of Finn. Someone called Flossie. Nice. Yeah, so sometimes I'm like, oh, maybe I backed this. I can't remember. We've got some notes at the back as well. And that is it. That is Colossal. So, ooh, don't freeze on me, computer. Let's go back. Right, let's think of our final thoughts. So that was under 2 hours. We did all right with that, didn't we? Considering the tech stuff. All right, what did we think overall? So, it's a great, easy system. Anyone can play it. Dead straightforward with those cards and stuff. I really like the combat system, actually. If it is just that one round, and like you only win if you match, if you beat the 2 out of 3 or whatever, the majority of the Rooks attacks. I quite like that. That's straightforward. I think the setting is quite interesting for people. Like, again, there's enough there to be like, oh, what else can I do? And I know with the expansions as well, you get more classes, etc. Obviously, didn't look at the Roomlands or the battlements or whatever it was called in the ceiling. Again, don't want to spoil it, everyone. I think it's a really well put together book. I think there's a little some bad points. I think in the sense of like. I think a little bit of copy editing, because a lot of times when you're repeating words, when you're saying like, special item inventory in like one sentence several times, there must be better ways of putting that, better ways to copy edit that, just a tiny bit. And there's some issues with the formatting that I saw later on as well. Would be nice to have alt text for this. I think this would very much benefit of it, because it obviously relies on these visuals to sort of bring people in. I think that map, which I know you can get as a JPEG, that would be really cool to have alt text on that to really describe it, because it's got lots of little names of places, etc. So I think that'd be quite good. Yeah, very straightforward, I think. Very interesting and very exciting as a result. I think, yeah, I would like to play this on stream, perhaps, or play it for where I think that could be a really good interesting one, again, like, because it's got that all the things you need there. I think there's some the terminology, and maybe I understand like reusing like the Rooks as like, oh, they're just these mindless monsters, and using them for parts and stuff like that, because that's what happens in Horizon Zero Dawn, that you reuse the machines and you take them down, etc. I don't know about using them for buildings. I don't know, seemed a bit cruel, especially if you've got sentient ones as Rooklings. So I'm not 100% on that, but I like how you could be like, it could be quite serious, could be quite dangerous, but you've also got sea adventures, so you could have like a Sea of Thieves type thing. You could have like a Baymax Big Hero 6 thing with if you were the Followed. So I think lots of cool things to go with it. So yeah, good choice of random roll decks. That's kind of it. I'm trying to find anything now. There we go. Let's move back to Big Fiona screen. Hello. Thank you so much for lurking or being a part of this. Very much appreciate, as we're just testing out stuff before next monitor comes, or just expanding out. If you enjoyed this, please go check out Colostle. You can get it from the website there, www.colossal.com, where you can get a physical version and the expansions as well, and obviously any other delightful like things like playing cards, etc. Yeah, highly recommend. And Nick is a very lovely person. Probably will be at UK Games Expo if you're a sort of person that will go there. And like I said, there is an expansion coming out. I wonder if I can find that email now, or find the because it literally came to me this morning. Colossal. Let's see if I can find it. Don't need the pre-order store. I just wanted the update. There we go. Oh no, I just wanted to look at the update. There we go. Read more. There. Let's let me. Will this work? Who knows? Back to this cam. Let's go. Yeah, there we go. I knew it was there somewhere. Let me just move it over. Oh, wrong one, wrong one. God. So professional, huh? There we go. So you can see there's a trailer coming out as well for that particular, the dungeons. So that's exciting. So yeah, so far what we've covered is like ocean, like I said, the Roomlands is an expansion, and then some more examples of like maybe countryside stuff with the Kia Diner expansion. But yes, the expansion, the dungeons is coming very soon. Adds a whole new area to discover underneath the known Roomlands. There's a new city with NPCs to meet and relationships to build, labyrinths, etc. And then, yep, it's going to be a UK Games Expo, which is highly exciting. There's some stuff about shipping, physical stuff as well, which again, you can read in your own time. But it'll be available in the online store on the 4th of January. So I'm really hoping there's a PDF version I can check out, because that'll be very cool. I was going to say one thing. What was it? Oh, yeah, that would have been a nice other thing. Maybe it's in the expansions as well. But it would have been quite nice to have like a random table for NPCs and other Roomlanders that you're going to follow with, for example, because that wasn't in there. And I would put that in the housing district a little bit. But otherwise, I thought pretty all right. You know, pretty good. Otherwise, go back to Big Fiona Cam. Hello. What else can I do? So first things first, obviously, I did this stream before I realised that there was the strike happening, the content strike, which is in support of Palestine, and other obviously all the horrible things that are going around the world, you know, in Ukraine, etc. So I just wanted to highlight again at the end of the stream, please go and check out Science and Sorcery's fundraiser. Over the weekend, they did loads of cool RPG streams in aid of the Palestine Children Relief Fund, and you can go check out their Tilify and give a sorry, words are not my strong point. What am I doing? So I'm also trying to copy their cards so people can go check out their actual stuff as well. There we go. What was I saying? Yeah, so go check it out, and you can go check out the VODs as well. They're on Twitch just now. I'm sure they'll be over on YouTube very, very shortly. Lots of really cool games run by excellent tabletop RPG game masters, and also some really cool actual play performances as well. Because, you know, we're living in a time which is quite sad, and these strikes are supposed to sort of highlight and raise awareness of it, and I feel very silly not for being on social media as much as I should be and being aware of this, so I'm going to make a donation myself after the stream is done, because, you know, I want to support these people as well. And I will say as well that in May there is another weekend of that happening, which I will be running a game for, which I'm very excited, and I'll reveal it now, just to the two people watching on Twitch. we're going to be playing Worldwide Wrestling 2E, which is going to be very exciting. So go check that out. What else is there? If you're interested in finding out more about what I do What Am I Rolling, which is a twice monthly tabletop RPG one-shot podcast where we do lots of different RPG systems, and we currently there's been lots of game designer chats, so if you're interested in game design and listening to interviews and stuff, had those back a little bit. We also had the trailer, the DM's Travel Book Club, which went live on both the DM's Book Club and where to help me with content stuff, where we're going to look at the inner planes of existence, so elemental planes of fire, water, earth, and air, and then the para-elemental and quasi-elemental planes as well. That's part of our little journey to book club. So go check those out as well. If people are interested still, we've got a Discord as well. We can come chat about all these things as well. It's a bit quiet just now. So again, I've just moved. And we're just going to just chitty chat and go from there. So it's all good stuff. Is there anything else I want to vaguely plug? I don't know. Yeah, because I don't know what is happening tonight with Orbital Blues. I'm going to assume, because I've not heard anything, I'm just not going to say whether it's going to happen or not, because I hope so, because that'll be really cool. But at the same time, I'm very aware of, we're striking, so we've got to be in support of that. I will be back tomorrow, she says, quickly looking at the stream chat. Let me find it. Yeah, I'll get rid of Colossal. What's going up here? We have, it will be the Legend in the Mist, the Tinderbox one. So yes, this is the City of Mist newest game setting coming out. So we're going to look at the Tinderbox demo tomorrow. So we'll do that at, wait, is that Thursday? No, that's Thursday. That's not tomorrow. I guess, to be fair, I should be editing tomorrow. So we'll do that on Thursday. But I'll probably be doing some more tabletop RPGs. Too long didn't read tabletop RPG stuff soon. And also, at some point, I will get an actual second monitor. So I won't be just constantly flicking back and forth between one screen. Anyway, hope you've had a lovely time. I appreciate it is 5 p.m. in the UK. So enjoy your dinner. I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea and get on with my editing. And I'll be hanging around. So, much love. Play more games, as always. And I now can go over to my Steam Deck and be like, I can press the button instead of trying to find it. So, much love, guys, and we'll see you shortly.